You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi guys, welcome back to our reactions. Thank you guys so much for all the new subscribers and patrons that we've been getting. It's been really exciting. It means the world to us. I hope that we're entertaining enough. I'm trying to figure out what to do after Ruby, so definitely give me some suggestions. I'm thinking Vox Machina, but if there's something else that you really want us to react to, we do have like a $3 tier that you guys can like ask us to do things. I don't know, maybe go check it out. It's on our Patreon. Patreon's gonna be linked down below. By now our chapter 8 reaction should be up and running, so I'll put a little like dot thing here or here. I never know what side it's on. It's gonna be one of those sides, but yeah, it should be up so you guys can go ahead and enjoy it along with all of our other Ruby 9 reactions. But today we are going to be reacting to the penultimate episode, which chapter 9s are always very emotional, so that's fine. I'm looking so forward to it. Also, penultimate chapters of Ruby have been infamous, I guess, for being like kind of episodes, so I'm also looking forward to that. We have 2 chapters left of this entire volume, and I have no idea how this is all going to be wrapped up, how this is all going to be resolved. A lot of people are like,
They're gonna stay in the ever after.
personally, I don't agree with that. I think there are plot lines that can be left unresolved, and then we can go from there. But I'm just super excited to see what happens today. I've heard lots of theories that Summer Rose will be in this chapter, that Neo's going to die. Like, I've heard each and everything. Am I ready? No, but am I ready? Yes. Anything you have to say, darling?
Completely zoned out.
I don't really know what else to talk about. I know that this chapter is 15 minutes, so it's definitely, I think, the shortest chapter that we've gotten. So I'm nervous as to why it's the shortest chapter. Maybe we'll get a super long one for chapter 10. I'm so excited to like watch this whole volume in full. I think it's such a good like movie volume to put on. It doesn't like, it's its own kind of story, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm very excited. Anyways, I'm gonna quit babbling on so we can get to this chapter. I'm just super nervous.
Let's go.
Hi babes, we have a Patreon that just got a little update. There's a link in the description so you can go check it out yourself, or maybe even change that membership you already have. And with each week's video, you could get a shout out just by being pledged, just like this person. Alrighty, let's get back to the video.
What is it called? Tale of the what tree?
Tail of the tree, I think. Or tail of a tree.
Something.
Yeah. Did you saw all the Hunger Games movies, right?
Yeah.
Remember the hanging tree?
Mm-hmm.
I used to sing that song all the time.
I think it used to creep me out.
I loved creepy shit. That was my thing. Jinx, I swear to God. Jinx! I'm sorry, our camera was shaking because our cat loves to rub against stuff.
Alright.
She's camping out there now, so.
Rip Little.
Rip a little. Oh yeah, I want to see if the intro's changed at all.
So far, I think so.
Some people were being like, oh my god, it'd be so cool if they like erased Ruby from the intro. And I kind of wish that happened because that would be so cool.
Here's her falling.
Yeah, she's always fallen.
I know, but like, from what happened last time when she fell through.
Yeah.
Before.
Oh yeah. I get what you're saying. Sorry, I was talking about things I wish would have happened in the intro, so I was like, what?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just confused.
A door opened for Alex at the tree. Before she went back home, the girl had a great many questions to ponder. After all the lessons she'd learned, and the friends she'd made and lost, what had she become? Would she still be the same Alex when she went back home?
It's summer.
The leaves of the tree rustled, and on the wind, Alex heard one more question. What are you?
Oh, that's dope as shit.
I don't understand. Alex, the pleasers now, Ruby? What does this place want?
I like the little triangular formation they did.
I don't understand.
Wow.
What did I do wrong?
It's not your fault.
Figure this out. There's got to be a way to get to the tree.
Hello there. You appear upset. Would you be so kind as to tell me how I can help?
Oh wow.
Perhaps you are hungry?
She's like a gem.
No, that's okay.
If I can get you anything else, please don't hesitate to ask.
Oh, I like
That's
the
what I'm here
noise.
for.
Me too. The little clacking.
What are you?
Oh.
We are the genial gems, and we have
Oh, that's
arrived here to clean
cute.
up this beautiful land and create something wonderful and pleasing.
Oh, they're gems, so they're hardened, so they can protect themselves. Oh. Oh.
What do they got? Powers?
Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, my lord. Steven Universe!
It's them, isn't it?
Yeah,
They're back.
they're
It's-
reborn.
Just like they said. They came back from the tree better.
No flood or fire will ever hurt them again.
No.
By trying so hard to save them, I stopped them from becoming what they needed to be.
Yep.
I was being selfish because I wanted the rush of rescuing someone.
Oh.
And I got that here.
You wanted to
You're
protect
asking Too
someone.
much of yourself. We've been telling ourselves that failing means we're no good. But I can guarantee even the best huntsman in history, they've all lost.
Yep.
But they were still incredibly brave. And good.
Oh, why? Oh, the cuties.
Maybe that cat was right.
Oh, he still got a little hand on her
I
waist.
just needed to accept it. It's not a place you go.
There we go. Oh, so Jean had to have that breakthrough. Come through. Come through. Come on, Weiss.
It's a place you know.
Huh? Oh, there's herb. Place you know?
Ruby?
Oh. She's not gone. She's not gone, girl.
We have to get her out!
She's not stuck
think I
in
get it.
there.
This is how we got here, or why the tree brought us here. Acceptance.
We've done everything we can. Now it's up to Ruby.
Yeah.
Whatever happens next, we have to welcome that.
But what if she isn't Ruby anymore when she comes back out?
Should be a new version. There's herb. Oh, the butterfly! Yay! Oh, he looks so cool.
That's not for us to decide.
Mm-hmm. They're so sweet. You don't have to let her decide. This is her rebirth. It's very like Korra book 2. Like when she, remember she came back after she got like lost her memory.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the forger. Oh, she looks so
I didn't expect you here just yet.
I wasn't expecting to be here. Are you the tree?
You could say that. But that is a simplistic understanding of the tree and what it does.
What's going to happen to me? Am I gonna die?
No.
The only thing that can happen to you here is what you want to happen. The choice of what you become and where you end up is yours to make. You don't know what you want, do you?
No. It's conflicted. Ooh, I don't like these noises. Oh god, it's a cat. Neo cat. Jesus fucking Christ. Y'all can't let him touch her!
Is that?
Oh, wait.
Huh? Oh shit.
Oh, good! You made it!
I guess your little plan to get out of here isn't working.
You've always been the worst of the bunch.
Oh.
So Neo can't go through the door.
No.
Creepy.
She has no attachments to your world. Nothing to return to.
Oh
She
shit.
has failed me. Just like Alex did.
Like Alex?
That cowardly, wretched girl whose story you've been foolishly following all along. The same girl that I followed too. Because she promised me she would bring me back to Remnant with her. When in truth, she had no intention of taking me. No, after talking to the tree, she had a sudden crisis of conscience. Decided she wanted to fix everything she'd broken in the ever after, including poor Jean. And so Louis went. And at the very
Guest joining us.
last moment, Alex did
Seems
it.
appropriate.
I
What
knew
did you do
it.
to her?
What anyone would do with a broken, useless thing.
You're such a cunt.
Didn't you? You monster!
Ooh.
Wow.
She's still here. Yes! All my work. It's not
No.
lost.
Y'all need to stop
She wants
him.
nothing more than to return to Remnant and play hero. I just need to cut her out.
That's not what she wants to do anymore.
She will take me there.
No. Whatever happens to Ruby is up to her. Not you or anyone else.
Period.
Then I'll put you in the ground.
Try it. Want to see you try it, for real.
What are these lights?
The souls that are moving on to whatever they become next.
Do they choose what their next life will be like?
Such concern for souls you don't know. Or is it for yourself?
Whew. This is too much. We can't do this back and forth shit.
There's no way we're letting you get to Ruby!
But don't you see? What comes out of that tree might not even be
Ooh.
sister any longer.
Y'all are messed up.
Easy.
I wanted to be the hero, like the stories that my mom read to me. I just wanted to do the right thing, but every step of the way, it's like there is no right thing. I tried so hard, and I may have just done more harm than good. I don't understand who I need to be, because who I am right now, she's not cutting it.
Baby
What if
girl.
you could be anyone.
Oh my god, this is... I'm gonna fucking cry over this.
I thought Alex made it back home and lied about everything that happened here.
I'm so worried right now.
Who lied?
You were never a brave knight either. Just more fairy tale nonsense.
Oh, this is quite intense.
See, you bitch! You bitch!
Play with each other's mind.
Not the fire with the Jean of Arc. Weiss, you didn't kill him. I refuse to believe. No. That was too short if that was a death.
It's not about who did, but who could. Can you feel the woman who might hold it? The weight of who she is. She could be you.
The woman, not the
Any
girl.
one of them on, and leave Ruby Rose behind.
All the red like roses in the background. Shut up.
It's all so heavy. It's the only thing I can feel anymore. And it never, ever goes away. The feeling of not being enough.
And how would you measure enough?
Your mom.
Before she went back home,
Mom,
the girl had a great many questions to ponder.
You're comparing yourself to this.
Are you?
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Eddie! Now I hear the lo-fi. Thank you, Casey. Oh, Summer, go back. Go back, go back, go back. Ah! This makes me want to fucking sob.
I'll take the mic.
Yeah.
Very short.
That was. Oh, come on, Weiss. Come through, Weiss. Oh, is it all the girls? This makes me want to fucking sob. Y'all are evil.
Oh, yeah, 15:40. It wasn't even 16 minutes.
No. How is this episode making me cry harder? Last one. I think the last one I was like going through something. So I was like, I have no much to say now. And this is making me very teary-eyed. We'll talk more about that in discussion. But holy shit. First thing that I didn't write down was that Eddie Rivas and Kiersey wrote this episode. I think this volume really like points that out too with the specific chapters. If you look back to who wrote it, you can see like the kind of writing styles that they have, the kind of goals that they're going for each chapter. Miles is really good with like horror and dramatics and like gut punches, and Kiersey really understands like kind of like the magic of the world and how to expand upon that and everything like that. And what I love about Eddie's writing in particular is that he is a very characterization person. He very much focuses on the characters. How have they developed? Where have they gone from point A to point B? So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I love Eddie's writing. It's incredible. First point that I wrote down, we got to see Summer Rose's full model. I have been just utterly obsessed with Summer Rose since she was even kind of introduced in volume 2. I feel like she had more of a heavy influence. She's always been a character that's always fascinated me for some reason. So getting to see her full model, I like wanted to sob because I was like, this character that I've been waiting for like basically 5 years, she's here. Like it was just insane, and she looked so good. Anything you had to say about Summer?
I thought it was Ruby at first, I'm not gonna lie.
But I feel like a lot of like people who are not like incredibly into Ruby, I guess, are gonna be like, that's older Ruby. us who are like, we have mental illness, we know that it's summer. It was just like such a good payoff. Summer always reminds me of Monty a lot, just because of like legacies being left behind and things of that nature. The next point that I wrote down was that Yang and Ruby's models, they looked younger but older at the same time. So they look younger than, I would say, how they first debuted, but they did look older than how I imagined when they said like, oh, Summer left, because Summer left when Ruby could barely talk. And I don't know, when I was seeing the model, I was like, well, that doesn't, like, she looks kind of more grown up than that. So that was just a little confusing for me. So I wonder if that's a retcon that we're going back on or something like that. Maybe I'm just saying it wrong. I don't know. I just noticed that. I had to point that out.
That was something I didn't really notice.
I love the story times with the kids and everything like that, because you can tell like even Yang wasn't her like birth daughter, and she cared about her so much and like took on this maternal role with her. I don't know, I love Summer Rose and I can't wait to learn more about her. The next thing I wrote was Weiss, Blake, and Yang and Jean. They were chasing after Ruby, trying to get after her to a tree, and they found, I'm hoping that I heard this right, the genial gemstones, which were the paper pleasers reborn. And I think that is such a cool metaphor. I don't know whose idea it was, Kiersey or Eddie's, but like both of y'all are so talented when it comes to like development and things of that nature, and showing paper pleasers being hardened to be these gems, these shining gems who now can take care of their own. They don't need anyone to protect them. I think is so beautiful, and it made me sob. And I don't know, there was just so many like little like metaphors throughout this chapter that I was like, that's wonderful. That's great.
Going off of what you were saying, is like building that shell of like toughness. Like with them, they were like, they evolved into this hardened, shinier, prettier, more colorful version of themselves. In reality, that's what we do. We learn to kind of like have the shell. It reminds me of a turtle, you know, kind of like, yeah, the shell that you build, protect yourself. That takes talent to like write something like that for these characters that aren't really people, I guess. Yeah. They're like these inanimate objects that you're trying to like bring back and characterize, but you do it so well. Yeah. Because of the message. Like what you're saying, like I love the name change too, because before they were paper pleasers, people who are living to serve you, and then they turn into genial gemstones, which are people who are hardened and are just out there to do good. They're not here to please anyone, they're here to do good. I think that's just very representative of the change. Even you don't even need to see them to hear that they've changed. Next point I wrote down was Weiss comforting Jean and their relationship coming full circle. So I always think back to volume 2 of when Jean was like trying to ask her to the dance and she would just slam the door in his face. There's a whole discussion to be had about guys who like chase after girls and they constantly are like, I don't want you, like leave me alone. But seeing how their relationship started from like volume 1 of Weiss despising Jean, not being able to like stand him, be in the same room as him, to now where she's comforting him and uplifting him, and like it tells a lot of Weiss's character, but it also shows a lot of their development as characters together and apart. So I thought that was just really sweet and it made my heart happy. Anything you want to say? I like the little hand on the back.
Hand on the waist. Oh, we're gonna get to that. And then I wrote down group hug just because I thought that was super cute. All the girlies. I would say like besides Weiss, because I don't know, we might be leaning into romantic territory there. So I don't really want to talk about that. But like at least with Blake, Yang, and Ruby, like Jean is basically their brother. They grew up together. They went to the same academy. Like he was the little dork that they're all just like, oh God, what are you doing? And I think we've all had like a friend like that, or at least girls, we've all had like a guy friend like that who are just like, oh my God, I just want to like take care of you, but you're also so annoying. That little group hug kind of just solidified that for me. Getting to your point, the hand around the waist, I thought it was really neat because we got the little back shot, and obviously like Blake and Yang are all over each other, no surprise. But if you go over to the side, like Jean is still holding on to Weiss, and so normally I don't like to obsess over that stuff, but I was just like, okay, I see you. If it happens, it happens. Like, I know that Kara's gonna be super happy about that. Kara's the voice of Weiss. She absolutely loves White Knight. Like, she's an absolute fan of it. I think it would be cute. I think especially with the development they have, I'd be for it. If you're not, that's totally fine. Just remember, don't be biphobic. Don't go after people who do like the ship, because this is a ship for 3D characters, guys. Let's simmer down just a little bit. Anything you want to say about that?
Nope, that was my only comment. That was very cute.
Did you ever see them being a relationship before this, or could you see them being a relationship?
I didn't know it was like a thing that people shipped them.
Oh yeah. There's like a whole shipping spreadsheet that I need to show you.
But probably not, because it wasn't like a thought of mine at all watching the other volumes until 2 or 3 episodes into this one, and I was like, oh, they would make a cute like kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like up until this point I was always like they're besties, but this volume really like showed a lot of like growth and character for both of them, and I was like, you know what, I can see that. Like I could see them like ending up together. But I'm glad that like it's not this thing of normal anime tropes of the girls and the guys. It didn't follow that kind of storyline. So thankful to y'all for not doing that. I'm just a sucker for romance, okay? So just leave me alone. The next thing I wrote down, we kind of touched on it already, but Weiss's arc, how far it's grown, not only in the entirety of the show, but with this volume. She started off very like,
this is a fantasy world. We're getting the fuck out of here. Y'all need to get off your drugs. Please, we're going home.
And to see her grow and be like, I need to accept this because that is the only way we're getting out of here. And I need to trust my teammate and I need to trust my friends. And I need to support them and comfort them.
And make sure Ruby's okay.
Make sure Ruby's okay. Like, still crossing my fingers. I want a really nice Weiss and Ruby talk because they deserve it. I'm so proud of her. I go back and watch people's reactions to volume 1 and I'm like, that is not the same girl. She's just very like prissy, bitchy,
racist.
And she's just come total full circle, and I've loved seeing her development. Anything you want to say about Weiss?
I think she's a cool character.
She's a cool character, haha.
She kind of reminds me of Elsa.
A little bit, yeah.
I think she's probably what every, like, friend group needs.
Well, I love how even the cat pointed out, he's like, oh my god, you're the worst of them all.
You're the worst of all
And
of
it's
them.
just like, I mean, she's a Taurus, so it's just a very realist kind of person, and I love that. I love having that kind of friend in your friend group. And then the next thing I wrote down was they find these statues and put in the reference counter, Leanne. I'm so sorry. I immediately thought of Gravity Falls. One of my favorite episodes of all time, not only in Gravity Falls but in television history, is, oh my god, why can't I remember the title? I think it's called The Northwest Mansion. And I love that episode of Gravity Falls. But basically, spoiler alerts, if you haven't seen Gravity Falls, I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, you better be gone. Anyways, if you've seen Gravity Falls, Dipper turns into a wooden statue, and it's this kind of symbolism of getting stuck in your fear. It reminded me so much of Avatar 1, how he had his little like statue and everything, and I was like, oh my god, the references, they're flying back and forth, this is crazy.
I never think of anything like that. Like, I know your brain is wired a certain way in mine.
I'm mentally ill.
I didn't say that. But I never think of, like, oh, this reminds me of that one, like, part in that one episode of that one show from that one year. But
from that one year.
I like that you can bring that up, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
I remember it was a crisp November 15th.
Avatar episode 2, season 2.
It was actually episode 6 and 7, but yeah.
It was 2342. If you skip forward, you'll see it.
The next thing I wrote down was Yang going after Ruby's statue, like basically trying to tear it apart. I think it's very symbolic of older sisters, older siblings in general, really just wanting the younger sister or siblings to stay the same, because seeing your younger siblings grow and change, I think is very hard for a lot of older siblings to understand, because all you've done your entire life is protect them and take care of them, and suddenly they seem like a new person. I think it's such an important message, though, especially in sibling relationships, because we get this with parental and kid relationships all the time, but you need this with sibling relationships too, of you guys are going to change, you're going to become different people, either you accept it or you don't. Like, that's just what has to happen. It was so nicely done, and having Blake kind of be like, she needs to choose, and Weiss be like, she needs to choose. We cannot control her decisions was so nice, because someone needed to comfort Yang in that moment, and it was really great just seeing her teammates do that.
Also letting her know that Ruby's okay, and that she's not, like, dead, she's not, like, buried under the ground, like, she's trying to figure shit out.
Yeah. I think in her mind, she, a part of the worry is like, oh, she left me and she's dead. It's that whole abandonment issue thing. It's very special as someone who has like older sisters and stuff. Like, you kind of get their kind of perspective in this, and it was really nice. The next thing I wrote down was that Herb was reborn into a butterfly. And so if you ever watched the original Alice in Wonderland, our Smokey guy, he turns into a butterfly. So I don't know, I thought it was a cute little callback and a really nice symbol for rebirth, of being a caterpillar and turning into a butterfly. I feel like that is the most overused metaphor for change, but it's such a good one.
You were a caterpillar, now you're a beautiful butterfly. Fly away.
See, you know references. There you go. The next thing I wrote down was that the cat / Neo was trying to make it to Vacuo, but couldn't. So they're literally a portal opened up for them. They're like, okay, cool. Y'all learned your lesson. Y'all went through some traumatic shit. Now you can go back. They tried to take advantage of it. I think the cat's not gonna ever, no matter who they try to possess, is gonna be able to be allowed into Remnant. I think the gods kind of left him and were like, you're a little fucking weird. Neo does not have a connection to Remnant anymore. Like, Torchwick was her main connection. I would hate to see Neo just kind of like, oh, well, you know, she's done for. End of story. I would love to see her, like, let her be reborn in her own sort of way and find a new purpose, and not be trapped in the ever after, but come to Remnant and see what you want to do. And not enticing her to be on anyone's side either. Just like, what do you want to do with your life, girl? Like, honestly, I don't think she's ever gotten that choice. Do you have anything to say about Cat Neo?
I think the cat is kind of a bitch.
The design of Cat Neo is
Wow.
really cool. I think putting the Curious Cat in Neo, who's such a like floaty ballet kind of character, is just such a cool choice. The next thing I wrote down was that the cat killed Alex, but because in this world we know nothing can really be dead unless it's killed by the Jabberwocker, which I'm still like, please explain that to me. I know that there's going to be a lot of plot lines. I'm like, I don't know how this wrapped up, but I would love for that to be explained to me. With Alex, I'm like, and everyone's had this theory too, so I hope it's not seeming like I'm stealing anyone's theory here. I think that Alex was reborn as little. Like, genuinely. There's so many signs of it. First of all, Alice's original full name in Alice in Wonderland is Alice Little. So it'd be like, oh, Little, you know? And the fact that she was like a guide for Ruby, and she's like, I'm here to like make things better and to be your friend and support you. And Alex's like dying wish was like, I want to make things better. If we don't get that confirmation, like, that's just gonna be my headcanon forever, that was Alex.
Well, it makes sense. I didn't think about it before until probably a couple episodes back, and then I finally heard it from some other people. Yeah. And I was like, that makes total sense.
If you guys haven't watched Phoenix Knight's videos, he like goes into like deep analysis about everything, and that's why I picked it up from. So definitely go check that out because it was great. Next thing I wrote down was I think, again, it's not confirmed, but I think that Lewis escaped and that he's the author, because who wrote Alice in Wonderland? Lewis Carroll. It just makes sense. One of them had to survive in order to write that story. And I definitely think Lewis took the opportunity and left, not because he was like, oh, well, my sister's dead, can't do anything, but I think he did it out of necessity. And he was like, well, I'm gonna write a story for her because I want to remember her. That's my personal headcanon until confirmed otherwise. The next point I wrote down was that Neo Cat conjures up Pura, Penny, and Dead Ruby.
There are 4 versions of Dead Ruby.
Oh yeah, one for each of them. It was great. Dead Ruby, that's horrifying. Don't ever want to see that again. Using Penny in front of Jean. Cruel. And then having Pyrrha come behind him too.
How many times are they gonna fucking bring Penny back for that reason? It's like, damn, enough.
Literally, the writers are in the writing room and they're just like, so how can we bring back Penny and Pyrrha for emotional damage for this volume? I'm just like, this poor man has been through so much. We do not need to keep bringing Penny and Pyrrha. Like, it's gotten to a point even where I'm like, I'm getting a little tired of it. I understand trauma is something that you live with and you can't ever get over that. Like, genuinely, I'm like, guys, could we switch it up a little bit? Can we, like, I don't know, bring back fucking Vine or some shit? I don't know. The next thing I wrote down was the fire glyph that Weiss produced that almost burned John. What have we been talking about since day one? Joan of Arc, burned at the stake. Do I think John is dead? Absolutely not. No. I think Jean has had way too much character development to just die.
Like that.
Yeah. I would be so upset if that was how Jean really went out. And by Weiss's hand, no thank you. I wouldn't like that. I think it was neat how they kind of brought that reference into the show. And they're like, oh, y'all want him burned at the stake? Don't worry about it. We got it coming. Anything you want to say about that?
The shippers. Oh my god, they're gonna get together. Oh no! And then Weiss ends up fucking killing him.
The next thing that I wrote down, so I was trying to get through, like, I don't want to call it the B plot because that seems like a disservice, but I was trying to get through that side as well and then get through Ruby's. So now going into Ruby's plot, Ruby found the forger. First thing I noticed was the design. I thought the colors of her materials on her were so neat. I think it's such a cool design for that kind of character. I know a lot of us were thinking like, oh, maybe Summer's the Forger, and I'm like, I don't really think so anymore. I'm kind of getting off that theory. In terms of Alice in Wonderland, the Forger reminds me of the White Queen, because the White Queen was kind of this presence of, we need to do something to change the way that things are, and so she could be that representation as well. I think the setting was neat. I think the music was neat. It made me emotional, made me want to cry. So good job, Casey, and whomever worked on that. You made me cry.
I've never seen Alice in Wonderland.
I know, you've told me. I think it's neat because you get this perspective of like not knowing these characters, and so you're kind of getting introduced to them. On the other hand, my sister was the biggest Alice in Wonderland fan. Like, when I tell you she had posters on her wall, when I tell you she went to the movie premieres, like, she was serious about it. So I got really into it too because I thought it was a fascinating world.
Well, you keep referencing these characters, and I'm like,
who? The next thing I wrote down was this question of what is enough that the Forger asked, because Ruby was saying, I'm not enough. I don't feel like I'm enough. And the Forger finally like, well, what do you think is enough? How do you measure what enough is? And Ruby immediately looked at her mom's weapon. She has been idolizing her mom for so long, being like, she was the perfect hero. She did everything right. I have to live up to those same expectations. When in reality, that's not fair to do to yourself, first of all. Second of all, no one is perfect. Summer probably fucked up so many times you couldn't even count. To think of someone like a legend and be like, oh, well, they're just perfect and they go through nothing, that is not fair to either them or yourselves. And so I think that's a very big turning point for Ruby, and being like, you cannot keep comparing yourself to your mom. And that's what I've been harping on for volume after volume. Ruby is not her mom. Ruby is her own person, and she really needs to figure that out. The next thing that I wrote down, I guess we just touched on this, but that Ruby is not a duplicate but an individual. I think even in her outfit design, it is very, very similar to her mom's, like to a T, like the cape and the emblem and everything like that. And it's not like a schnee kind of thing where it's like, this is just like the family, you know, this is the crest or whatever. Like, it was a personal thing. And I think Ruby needs to create her own emblem, create her own weapon, really get to know who she is as a person and not just this daughter figure. She needs to realize that her mom dealt with that same kind of stuff, that same kind of weight on her shoulders of like, everyone thinks you're the hero and everyone is looking to you for an answer. Her mom even warned her, please don't do that. Please do not put that kind of pressure on yourself, because no one is perfect. You're going to fail. You're going to fall on your face. The important thing is that you get up and you love yourself at the end of the day and you keep going, but also address what needs to be addressed internally. Don't ever forget about that. Like, don't put your needs second. And I love that all this is coming to Ruby where it's just like, you need to have this moment to really just kind of, this is like her therapy space. You need to sit and think, and you're not going to be allowed to go back into the world until you figure this out. Anything you want to say?
It's accurate that you can't really figure yourself out or find out who you are until that weight on your shoulders gets lightened, and going off of like you figuring shit out, there's no way to kind of grow. Essentially trapping her in the scene, it was very dark. You're in this circle, and you're not leaving this circle until you say, hey, this is who I want to be, or this is the path I want to take.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to create their own path, and I feel like I'm not really familiar with her relationship with her mom. But from what you said, she really didn't get to have a relationship with her because she was so young. But she's still like, well, this was my mom. Why would I be my own person? You know, when I have like guidance right here, I have a path right here that like I can do exactly what she did.
I'm so excited this summer because I'm going to be taking more sociology classes, and one of them is about marriage and the family and everything like that. But one of the things I learned in my sociology class in high school was a lot of kids who lose their parents when they're younger, not because of like a divorce or anything like that, but like physically lose their parents, try to become them because they want their other parent to know that they're still there. They want their other parent or their siblings or whomever to be reminded of them. And I think Ruby really took on that role of, I need to embody Summer Rose. And it's like, that is not fair to you. First of all, you're never going to. You're not her. And second of all, it's such a disservice to your mom to not be your own person. Like, at the end of the day, any loving mother is going to want you to be your own person. Ruby and this whole arc hits very hard because I was very similar to her. I was very much like, I just kept going and I didn't address anything, which ended up leading to a really bad burnout when I was about, I want to say like 16, 17, which is the age that she's going through right now. And I think it's just so important to really like take a step back. You don't know what you're doing, and try to figure out what kind of life you want to live, not like who exactly you want to be in the moment, but like what you want to do next. What's your next step? I think it's super important to think about that and to break from what you think you should be doing and instead what you want to do. My Ruby bias is slowly incorporating my brain again. I love this episode. Kirsty, I love your writing always. Eddie, I'm gonna give you the biggest hug at RTX because this was such a special chapter. That's it for my little discussion. I had our last point of like Blake comforting Yang, but I don't really want to overshadow, like, I love my bees, I do, always and forever, but I don't want to overshadow what's happening with Ruby right now, so I'm gonna leave that to the side. Is there anything that I left out that you wanted to bring up?
Do you think that because all this stuff is happening with Ruby and talking about the similarities between her and her mom, her outfit and her mom's, her weapon and her mom's, like all this stuff, do you think there will ever be a drastic change in like appearance?
Oh yeah. No,
I want to know your thoughts, because I was thinking like, oh, what if they change it? But then I'm like, I don't know how the show is with like change like that, but I think that would be very fucking impactful.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that is her color. Right. You know, I feel like I wouldn't want them to like completely change that. But like
2 points to that, I guess. One, yes, I want to see her character completely redone. Not in a way of like, oh, we're completely erasing Ruby and this is a completely new character and da-da-da-da. But in the next chapter, what I hope happens when she's inevitably reborn is she looks different and she walks different. There's a different air to her. Mm-hmm. Because if she comes back as the same kind of girl, even the Forger mentioned it, like, you need to choose what kind of woman you want to become. Yeah. Ruby's not a girl anymore. She's not a child. She hasn't been for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I think she needs to understand that of like, you are a woman who's allowed to make her own choices and you are grown. So I would love to see a different kind of design, especially a different emblem. I think is super, super important. A different weapon, because I don't think Crescent Rose is really hers anymore. I think that would be super, like you said, poignant in pointing out the changes of her. The second thing that I want to mention is I made like a little Ruby playlist, because like, it's a mental illness, y'all. I'm sorry. I added a lot of like songs from my like Wanda Maximoff playlist, my Scarlet Witch playlist, because they have a lot of similarities if you think about it, and like Wanda being reborn into the Scarlet Witch and having to figure out if that's really the route she wants to go on and if she's going to be corrupted by that. I love characterization like that, where you think they're one thing and then they develop and grow into this like ultra powerful thing, and it's like, that's not really how I want things to go. Personally, I would love, if anyone's seen WandaVision, put in the reference counter, Jesus Christ. If anyone's seen WandaVision, the last chapter, or the last episode, I guess I should say, where she like rises up and becomes like the Scarlet Witch, if we got a moment like that with Ruby, I think I would literally piss myself. It's so powerful. It's so like, I'm taking back this name that others are putting onto me. It's one of my favorite Marvel moments of all time. It'd be one of my favorite Ruby moments of all time, and I know that for sure. So if she came back with a different color palette, I don't know, because this world relies so heavily on color, so I really want Ruby to remain red just because of the R, but maybe a different shade of red. That would be powerful, of like, this is not really the same person, but it's still me.
I'm just curious as to how this is all gonna close. Moving on, where is it gonna pick up? That's far in the future, but it's left me thinking.
I'm just so excited for next chapter. I'm already like vibrating with anticipation. I'm like, what's gonna happen? We'll see if our babies make it back to Vacuo or anything like that. I think they will. I know a lot of people were like, I think they're gonna be staying in the ever after, and I was like, I do not think so, and I would not like that. I'm sorry, we talked like 40 minutes about this episode. Just these simpler episodes where you're diving into characters. There's so much to talk about. Yes, thank you guys so much for watching. As we've said in the beginning, we have a Patreon. It's linked down below. Go check it out. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. It helps the YouTube gods, and they say, oh, this is a good video and we should recommend it to other people. So please do that. That'd be really great. There's a big red button down there. I don't know if y'all have seen it yet. It might say like subscribe or something. Click it maybe. Thank you guys so much. Please take care of yourselves. Burnout is real. Our socials are linked down below. I opened up my Instagram, so it's gonna be linked down there.
If you want to go follow my graphic design account, it will also be linked below. I really appreciate a follow, a like, a share, anything. We very much appreciate the watching and the liking and the sharing and the commenting. I enjoy reading the comments, looking at all the positive feedback we get every week.
Thank you guys. Genuinely, we do read the comments all the time, and it makes me so happy. One of y'all commented we were your favorite reactors, and it almost made me cry. So that's very special and very sweet. Thank you guys so much again for watching. We're gonna go ahead and do our things and take care of our cats that are trying to kill each other. So anyways, be gay.
2 crimes.
And we'll see y'all a little bit later. Bye! I want a Ruby Scarlet Witch moment so bad it's not even funny.